أهلين 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 أهلا وسهلا صباح الخير. Bienvenido desde el Maghreb, Marruecos in Spanish. It's my last day in Marrakesh, and I have decided to record a Finance with Nicole from here because I know when I get back to New York in about 48 hours, because I have a layover in Spain, just picked the cheapest flight, that it's going to be all hands on deck, guns a-blazing, because I need to move out of New York. Moving is a full-time job. I work a full-time job, doing independent contract work, and it's something that I haven't really spoken much about and say for another video, but it pays the bills. And then I am working on building my own business, which I'm at a point where I need to fundraise a little bit for. So I thought I would do a bit of a recap, why I came to Morocco, how I did my traveling in Morocco, thoughts, honest, candid reflections while I'm still sitting here before the hotel kicks me out. The earrings I got in the Medina. Medina literally translates in Arabic to city. I got these 20 dirham, which, just a little memento. I also got this insane leather jacket, which was definitely not 20 dirham. We went to a tannery in Fez. Um, yeah, maybe I keep this on the rest of the video. It looks sharp. Although it is quite hot. Okay, we're taking it off. We're gonna do a little comme ci, comme ça. Okay. So why did I come to Morocco? To do a quick backup, and I think down the road I'll share more, but long story short, and I've spoken about this in some of my other videos, I started my professional career at Goldman Sachs. Well, technically, my professional career started when I was in high school and I was flipping burgers, but my professional financial services career, I started at Goldman Sachs. And I was early promoted there. I was involved in some innovative structures. Anyways, I left when I was a senior associate. I was in the investment banking division at the time that I resigned and left. And then I was part of the founding kind of original team of a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund that was seeded by Spain's national bank and focused on distressed emerging market private credit and private equity. We primarily did, when I joined, distressed across non-performing loans, corporate capital solutions type work. And then we added real estate as an investment pillar across Europe and Latin America. And then while I was doing that, I was also getting my executive MBA from Columbia Business School, which has its graduation actually this week. And hashtag I'd rather be in Morocco. Actually, though, no, it does have its graduation this week, the ceremony. I graduated formally in December of last year. I accelerated it, and I just sort of overloaded. I'll explain kind of why, my rationale for doing that. It's a great credential. It's an amazing network. I've made an amazing mentors plural, but one in particular. I mean, I'm so glad I did it. I think I celebrated, well, I know I celebrated last year graduating by visiting two of my classmates actually, in Azerbaijan, in Baku, and then also, which I have a video on my channel about, and then also going to Karachi, Pakistan, and staying with another friend from my class. I met amazing people, and I made amazing friends. And I also, thanks to Columbia, got to do 2 international seminar classes, one in Cape Town, South Africa, which I have a video up on my channel. Really, that trip was centered around doing entrepreneurship in emerging markets, and it sort of underscored to me the importance of profit sharing as a sustainable path forward for people to have equity and ownership and have incentives aligned in developing a, kind of an equitable path forward, especially in a system that was so segregated and so unequal before. So then I also went to China, which I have a video on that outlined kind of same thing, sort of like reflections, which was incredible. And it was around when I resigned from my job. So I was still working for myself full time through this contract work that I mentioned, but I stopped doing my hedge fund job. Basically, the business started pivoting away from emerging markets and really just focusing on developed market real estate. That's the shortest possible version. And I'm still really close to the people that hired me, the people that I worked with. I text them. We're very, very tight. Maybe we'll work on some stuff together in the future. Incredible people. If it wasn't for them, I would not have been able to go to Columbia Business School. So I have a lot of gratitude, and I got to travel the world with these people, and I really developed a very close bond and friendship with them. But it was the right thing for me to resign. I've always had an internal why, and that why drives everything that I do. And it's like the fire inside, to quote James Baldwin, kind of my eternal fire of being and purpose. And so I resigned to work for myself. And in that resignation process, I had time. I'm still working on the contract, still making money, have a mortgage. Also, do I have a mortgage video? I have a mortgage video on my channel, very high level. But yeah, I have, bills to pay. I'm financially independent, so responsible. So I needed to keep making money. But I used that after I resigned to accelerate my Columbia Business School degree, and also to work on building my business, and also to take a little bit of time and explore China solo, which I mentioned in the video, with friends for a portion, and then solo. And then I hit Japan as well while I was out there. And then the initial, and I don't want to say too much because we still want to very much do this, and it's not like I'm trying to gatekeep something. It's just that there's so much going on right now that I would rather wait. But in short, the initial thing that I was working on was an investment fund, co-invest platform, and it was focused on emerging market investing, infrastructure, housing, etc. And we put that on pause, but we very much still want to do that in the future. And essentially, since then, I had another idea that has come about that I am actively building. There were some twists and turns, and the contract work actually, I mean, I work 40 plus hours a week sometimes. It's very flexible, which is nice. Hence, I'm here and I was able to work remote in the evenings. But it's, I am working a full-time job, and then I have to rent my place, which is another full-time job, and I have to move. And really, there's only one organization and one role kind of that I would consider working for someone else in, with a very intentional purpose to develop and skill build more in a certain particular vertical. And so that is background that I've been reticent to share because I'm actually quite a private person. But I think the point of this channel is also to be honest and within reason and boundaries, of course. Love a boundary, but like actually be honest and, share things and insights from my experience. And, in doing this initially, I thought I would do a deep dive because I'm such a nerd and I love researching topics on a particular topic that interests me in finance every single week. And then also because I do have a, amazing Bismillahirrahmanirrahim network of mentors and contacts. And I even had this idea of interviewing a lot of them and just making it, finance with Nicole, a little bit more conversational and bouncy and back and forth. And I just frankly have not had the time because I've been so busy and there's a lot of changes going on in my life. But I wanted to, I guess, explain that what I am busy doing is building something that is very important. I don't think this channel has been as polished and as refined and as I can be very type A as like what I would love it to be. Although, hey, silver's done well if you got into the silver ETF. But there's a reason for that. It's because I am building. And so I think, as I evolve, this will evolve more. But, maybe perhaps that makes me, because I have something to say and I have a point of view, interesting to follow up with. But I'll try and add a little bit more structure and finance thoughts. The other thing that's quite tricky when it comes to like investing globally is that finance does get there's that sprinkling of econ. It does get twinged with politics, and especially working in emerging markets. And so, there's that element too, which I promised my mom I wouldn't say anything about. But so why am I here? I was working on a contract late one night. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I got this banner ad for a like $600 last minute deal, come to Morocco. And I hit the go button and I looked at flights, and it was before everything with the Strait of Hormuz and prices, for tickets coming from where I'm coming from really shot through the roof. And so I booked a ticket. It was quite, decent. I had it in the monthly budget. I booked a return ticket, the cheapest I could find, connects through Spain. I'll spend the night in Spain. And then I just budgeted, made sure. I mean, I live literally on $100 per week of groceries. And then I came and I got my own room as well. It was like $100 add-on where at night I did some work, some of the nights, to keep up with things. And now I'm going back to New York. And I feel like I have a lot of clarity on pivoting from an investment fund, which I was going to do. And we were like really ready to rumble, made our first project, like feasibility study, model, structure, spoken to lawyers, to go from that to then pivoting to something that is different. And I will share more in time, but I think is quite unique. And I will have to also raise some funding from, inshallah, ethical people. Because if you've listened to some of my other videos, in general, VC, you know, But so we'll see. And I need to start that process in the next 2 months. And then there's also the potential that, and I'm moving. Where am I moving? Stay tuned. Watch the channel. But yeah, so I came here as a bit of it was spontaneous. I have a spontaneous side. My family and my partner really supported me. They were like, go, go, go. I'm quite adventurous. And so here. Now, thoughts on Morocco. So I came here with Intrepid Travel. Intrepid runs a free, every month. If you make Instagram reels, they may give you a free trip. So shout out Intrepid. I'm gonna try and get on another free trip. Why not? But, I loved my trip. So first of all, I did get a very good group and I had an amazing guide. Shout out Redwan. My group, everyone was respectful. And while we were all different, we all brought positive energy to the trip. And so I think that's quite important. If you're going to spend almost 2 weeks in Morocco traveling around the country, you don't need to be best friends, but you just need to bring good vibes and good energy and be respectful of boundaries. And I think there was a shared common maturity among the group, which was really nice. So I had a wonderful group. Even if I didn't have a good group, I think I still would have had fun because Morocco was just that. And our guide was incredible. We had so much fun with him, and I look forward to hopefully staying in touch with him. So we started in Casablanca. I flew into Casablanca. There's a direct flight from New York, and that I took. And then I took the train from the airport, and then I walked because I got confused. I initially had in my GPS the wrong hotel, so I walked to the wrong hotel, and then I walked to the right hotel, and then I went to the Great Mosque, which is incredible architecturally. Um, and from there, we did Moulay Idris. I might be getting kicked out of the room soon. I may have to end this, but I will still count this for this week's episode. And then we can do another Morocco recap when I'm officially back in New York. But we did Chef Shawan, which was incredible. We did the Sahara Desert. The Sahara is the largest desert of that type in the world. And with just like big, kind of fine sand, grainy dunes. We did, now obviously we're in Marrakesh. We went to the High Atlas Mountains. Being among nature is, for me, so grounding. And I had this magical moment in the Sahara. We saw the full moon. We saw the moon the entire time this trip. And anyone who actually knows me knows I'm very superstitious when it comes to the moon. There's this saying that I really like in Arabic that is essentially smile at the moon, and if it happens across your path, it will bring you good luck, good fortune. Because back in the day, the Bedouins used the moon's light to guide them on the frankincense trail. And even since the moon was its natural, its light, the light that came, the glow of the moon, was seen as khair. It was helpful, was blessing. And so, it's good luck to see and smile at it, but you can't be looking for it. And I find that so beautiful because in so many aspects of life, it's when you're not looking for something that it smacks you in the face and it finds you. And even the idea for what I'm working on now, it came very organically. I feel so fortunate I got to do this trip, honestly. I would definitely do another with Intrepid Travel. I loved Morocco. I think I could have solo traveled Morocco, but I do speak Arabic, and I felt very comfortable here. I just felt very comfortable, very safe, super, super friendly people, good food. Although I'm tangined out. Tangine is like one of the key dishes here. If you Google tangine, it's cooked in like a certain pot, and sometimes it's cooked vegetables with meat or just vegetarian option. Memsem, this fried bread, is delicious. I think that was my favorite thing, and the fresh orange juice. I think one thing that surprised me about Morocco, and I actually have an aunt who is Moroccan. She married my mom's brother, and she is half Berber, half Arab. And one thing that surprised me about Morocco that I didn't actually realize is how rich the Berber culture is here, and how many Berbers are in Morocco. And this is the point of travel. When you have ignorant blind spots, you go to a place and you're like, oh my goodness, like this place is so rich in cultures, plural. And so it was really cool seeing that as well. Also, in my head before coming, I pictured coastal cities and then the Sahara Desert. But no, in the middle, and actually you see this on the Berber flag, which is why it's blue, green, and yellow. And then they have the freedom symbol, which is very beautiful. The blue represents the water, the ocean. the the coast. The green represents the high Atlas Mountains, and then the yellow represents the desert. The mountains here are incredible. I honestly was thinking to myself, I could easily live here, but I would live in the desert. I would live in the Sahara, or I would live in the high Atlas Mountains. It was so beautiful. We went to Fez, which is such an ancient city. I have a reel up on my Instagram that outlines some of the history of Fez. Um, I can go on and on, but I'll stop it here. This will count as this week's episode. But I will be back next week and we'll do a proper deep dive of Morocco. I just wanted to kind of do like a little raw reflection. And we'll be back with Finds with Nicole next week officially. I will put out a video really outlining Morocco and also looking into their economy. Anyways, have a wonderful week, everyone. And I will see you, in a week from now. Ciao.